Hey guys, this is Mitch Weissong, owner of Bruiser Bulldogs, and today we're with Stark, and we're going to talk about Stark, what I like about Stark, and what he brings to our breeding program here at Bruiser Bulldogs. Before we do that, we're going to take a quick look at him. First characteristic that I love about this dog that he really brings to the table is what I call a highly functional bulldog. And Stark here at Bruiser Bulldogs is probably our most athletic bulldog we have. Highly functional, and what that really means is that he can do every dog activity that normal dogs can do. So Stark, being highly functional, is athletic. He can go on walks, he can go on runs, he can go on a 2-mile hike if he wants. He is incredibly heat tolerant, and so a lot of owners have to watch out with their bulldogs with the heat. Stark, this last summer, we took a walk with him in 95-degree weather for a mile, and he's fine. And you can actually listen to him breathe right now. Very easy breather. You know, when he's out in the sun, when he's out in the heat, he does great. One, he's highly functional. He probably has the most athleticism of our studs, and he really injects a lot of athleticism in our bloodlines. And then the second thing you think of with Stark is his health. And it's important to realize that just because they're functional, just because they can be heat tolerant, does not mean that they're necessarily healthy. And so what we look at in our bulldogs is always like that big 5 with the elongated soft palate. Your trachea has to be right. Your patellar tendons. You really want to watch out for your patellar tendons in the back, make sure there's not luxation there. And then your eyes, there's 2 characteristics you look for their eyes. Cherry eye is a big thing with bulldogs. The last eye characteristic that you look for is entropion. And with Stark, with the big 5, we have what we do with all of our studs and all of our moms. We test them to make sure that they're not carrying those issues. And so Stark has been x-rayed with his trach, with his palate. As you can see, he breathes really well. One of the best breathing bulldogs we've ever had. So all those are really good. He's got a huge trachea, one of the biggest tracheas I've ever seen in a bulldog. Palate is excellent, breathes very well. Patellar tendons in the back are great, very tight. All of his puppies have tight patellar tendons. And then with the eyes, no cherry eye, has never had a cherry eye. And then entropion, as you can see, you just look at his eyes. His eyes are not, hey buddy, they're not weepy. His eyelids are not constantly going back and forth and blinking and things like that. And what that means is he's basically comfortable. He's got good eyes. They're not curling inward. The eyelashes are not rubbing against his cornea. So eyes are really nice eyes. So that's all from a phenotype standpoint. That means that from a phenotype standpoint, he does not have those traits physically. And then genetically, from a genotype standpoint, genetically he's thrown about 10 litters, probably about 50 pups so far. Genotype standpoint, he seems like he's very clean genetically. What we've seen so far is that genetically his puppies do not have cherry eyes, the big 5 again. They don't have cherry eyes, they don't have entropion. Patellar tendons are tight, and they all breathe really well. So their tracheas are big, and really nice puppies. And what we've seen, he's still a young stud, so 10 litters under his belt. But what we've seen right now, we can kind of get a statistical analysis of him at this point with having 50 pups under his belt, that there's no red flags. And so at this point, we really like what he has from a physical standpoint, from a genetic standpoint. It's just a very healthy dog. Really represents what we stand for at Bruiser Bulldogs with our health and the big 5 that we look at, trying to keep our bulldogs clean, and you guys know that's what we're famous for, is really healthy bulldogs. And then the last characteristic is, you always want a good personality on a bulldog. And he really has like that classic bulldog personality, very laid back, still athletic, still fun to be around, but he's still laid back, one of the most obedient bulldogs we've ever had, and he's been that way ever since we raised him as a pup. And yeah, just has that nice laid back personality that you really want in a bulldog, that classic bulldog personality, not too much energy, not too hyper. He is available right now. We are using him for our litters. He is a color carrier, and if you guys are interested, he is available for stud service. 2 qualified females. We don't just breed to anybody. It'd have to be a female that we look at and like and approve of. So yeah, this is a look at Stark. We just want to introduce him to you guys, and hope you like him. Thank you.